So, I'm a consultant in marketing, which I was. And this is a real life example, right? It wasn't me, it was one of our staff. They wanted to engage with the digital director of Ogilvy in Sydney. This is just an example, and we happened hundreds of times around the world. So they'd research that person online and find that he had a Twitter stream and he had a blog, this guy. So this consultant did two things. They followed the person on Twitter and they subscribed to their blog. When you follow someone on Twitter, as long as the settings are set this way, that person will get an email saying, Greg Savage just followed you on Twitter. Mostly, not always, the person will check, who's this person who's followed me on Twitter? If your profile's filled in, looks good, there's a chance they will follow you back. 1 in 3. As you get more compelling, I get about 2 out of 3 now who follow me back. Because I've got a strong Twitter brand. 1 in 3 at the beginning. So this person followed this Ogilvy guy. The Ogilvy guy followed him back. He also subscribed to his blog. He left it at that. He didn't try to connect with him on LinkedIn. He hadn't earned the right to connect with him on LinkedIn. Subscribing to a blog is fine, and following on Twitter, fine. So a few days goes by. He then retweeted, our consultant retweeted the Ogilvy guy's comment. The Ogilvy guy retweeted back and said, hey, thanks for the retweet. Now, I want you to think about this. We couldn't get in to see this guy from Ogilvy, come the hell away. He's one of those clients you can't get in to see. Never get at him. This client, who was unobtainable, is now thanking us a week later. Thanks for the retweet. Our guy, who was trained, tweeted back, pleasure. That was really interesting comments you made about the future of digital. Do you blah, blah, blah. The guy tweeted back. Suddenly, there was about an 8-tweet conversation, and then it died out. That was fine. Our guy didn't do anything else at that point, except the client, about 3 weeks later, published a blog, and our guy put a comment on the blog, which was taking the debate further. The Ogilvy guy commented back. Then our guy retweeted him again about 2 weeks later. The guy made a comment. Our guy tweeted back and said, hey, it's been great to engage with you. Would you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn? The guy said, with pleasure. He connected with him on LinkedIn, but he didn't just send him a LinkedIn invite that said, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? He sent him a LinkedIn invite that said, pleasure to engage with you on Twitter. I enjoy your blog. As requested, I'm connecting you with on LinkedIn. And by the way, I'm in North Sydney next Tuesday. Would it be okay if we had a coffee? The answer was yes, they met. That is social business development. Yes, it's a long road. Yes, it takes time, but you've got to understand that you're doing that all the time with 20 different, 30 different, 50 different people. And you've got 8 people in your company and they're all doing it. Well, I guess you've got 60 people in your company and let's say 50 people are doing it all the time. Meanwhile, across town, our competitors are making 50 cold calls a day and getting told to off. That's not the future. We've got to change the way we think. So that's just an example of how social works, but it's a long game. We've got to realize that by following a guy on Twitter doesn't mean to say you're going to get to meet him tomorrow. It's a seduction. But it's a legitimate one because there is mutual benefit.